What if the stories we tell ourselves about reality are nothing but carefully constructed fictions? What if the man who tried to rip back the curtain paid the ultimate price for showing us what was truly there? For years, one voice cut through the noise, a bridge between our known world and the cosmic unknowns. This isn't just the story of a researcher, it's the gripping account of David Wilcock, a modern day prophet who dared to challenge the very foundations of our existence. His journey wasn't a peaceful exploration of truth, but a desperate, exhausting race against time, a battle for humanity's soul that left him forever changed and ultimately silenced. We're going to definitely silence with this, going to pull back the layers on his extraordinary life, the powerful messages he delivered, and the immense personal cost of his tireless fight. Before he was a familiar face on your television screen, before the theories became headlines, David Wilcock was a young man driven by an impossible quest. It was the late 1990s, and David emerged not just as a sharp researcher, but as something far more profound, a living connection to the past. What struck many, and especially David himself, was his uncanny physical resemblance to the famed sleeping prophet, Edgar Cayce. To David, this wasn't just a quirky coincidence you'd find in Osborne. It was a clear, undeniable calling, a sign. He wasn't just claiming to be a reincarnation of Cayce. He felt he was a direct continuation of a vital spiritual work, a mission designed to awaken and save the human soul from its slumber. In these early, formative years, David poured his entire being into proving a radical idea, that the universe we inhabit isn't just a cold, empty vacuum, dead and purposeless. Instead, he proposed it was a vibrant, conscious entity, an intelligent blueprint he called the source field. He was the young, energetic scholar, brimming with conviction, who truly believed that if humanity could just manage to grasp and apply the advanced science hidden within ancient teachings, we fill up the next spectacular stage of human evolution. He didn't do this for fame or fortune. He did it for us, for everyone struggling with the grind, desperately searching for meaning. He wanted to give us a powerful, undeniable hope that there was infinitely more to life than the daily routine, more than what we were being told. He truly believed he could help humanity remember its own divine heritage. As the new millennium dawned, David Wilcock's career absolutely exploded. He wasn't just published, he became a staple, a recurring voice on shows like Ancient Aliens, and a central figure, a cornerstone, of Gaia TV. Suddenly, alongside respected investigators like Nick Pope and legendary authors like Eric von Daniken, David was pulling ideas once considered fringe right into the living rooms of millions. This period highlighted David's true, profound gift to humanity, his incredible ability to make the complex understandable. He had a way of taking mind-bending Sumerian texts, the mystical prophecies of the Book of Enoch, and even the head-spinning concepts of quantum physics, and translating them into something that made perfect sense to the everyday person without dumbing them down. He wasn't just rambling about aliens and UFOs. He was talking about our shared heritage, our cosmic DNA, the ancient blueprints of our very existence. He argued passionately that these stories weren't myths, but forgotten chapters of human history, pointing to a grander, more interconnected past than mainstream science dared to admit. He spent countless hours in front of cameras, sometimes recording late into the night, fueled by an almost spiritual belief. For him, every single person who woke up, who understood these truths, represented a crucial victory for the entire planet. He deliberately lived in the relentless glare of the spotlight, not for personal glory, but because he believed it was the only way to ensure that these vital truths, these world-changing secrets, wouldn't be forced to remain hidden in the shadows, lost to humanity forever. He put himself out there, exposed, so the information could reach everyone. But fighting on the front lines for what you believe is the truth, especially a truth as monumental as David's, comes with an unbearable, heavy price. To truly grasp the immense personal struggle David endured, you have to look beyond the slick presentations and the confident smile. You have to consider the years of veiled threats, the draining legal battles, and the sheer, crushing psychological weight of carrying the entire disclosure movement on his shoulders. David often spoke openly, and sometimes tearfully, about being relentlessly targeted by what he ominously called the Cabal, a powerful, shadowy network of forces he claimed determined to perfuse humanity in the dark. Asleep, to its true potential in history. Whether you found his theories utterly believable or completely outlandish, one thing became undeniably clear. You couldn't dispute the visible toll this struggle took on the man himself. His physical appearance began to change quite dramatically. The vibrant, energetic young researcher gradually grew weary, his eyes reflecting a deep-seated exhaustion. He started to carry the unspoken burdens of every whistleblower he felt he had to protect, every dangerous secret he uncovered, every piece of suppressed technology he dared to bring into the light. He wasn't just a prolific content creator anymore, churning out videos and books. He had transformed into a man who genuinely felt he was standing on the scorching front lines of an unseen, spiritual war for the very soul of humanity. And too often, it seemed he was standing there completely alone, without reinforcements. The weight of the world and its hidden truths pressed down on him, visibly. This brings us to the moment that continues to haunt his dedicated followers, a moment where the carefully maintained public mask seemed to finally slip away. It was a video, a final message, unlike any other he had ever produced. As David sat in front of his camera, he didn't launch into a complex lecture about quantum physics or ancient prophecies. Instead, he gave us something far more raw and profound: his tears. He broke down, openly weeping, his voice cracking as he admitted, with heart-wrenching honesty, that every single thing he had done, every struggle, every sacrifice, was ultimately to wake us up. When we now look back and ask, did he truly want to be there, under that immense pressure? The answer feels incredibly complicated. He was clearly a man exhausted, almost broken by the relentless weight of the world's secrets and its refusal to see. Yet, paradoxically, he was too deeply, passionately in love with humanity's potential to ever truly walk away. Then, on April 20th, 2026, the unique, unmistakable voice of David Wilcock went completely silent. While official reports pointed to a tragic mental health crisis, those who had closely followed his tireless fight, who understood the depths of his convictions, saw a different, far more unsettling story. For them, it wasn't a breakdown, it was a silencing. They believe he was quieted just as he was urgently raising alarms about the safety and well-being of his peers, fellow truth-seekers who dared to challenge the status quo. David Wilcock didn't just leave us with a collection of theories, intricate diagrams, or ancient translations. He left us with his entire life, poured out for a cause he believed in more than anything. He fought fiercely, tirelessly, to show us that we are all inherently far more magnificent, far more capable, and connected than we've ever been told. And as we look at those final, tear-streaked frames of him on screen, we don't just see a broken man, defeated by the struggle. We see a warrior, a true hero, who gave absolutely everything he had to make sure that, finally, we might open our eyes and truly see. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries David Wilcock tried to uncover, click here for our next video.